It's Tuesday. It's Transformation Tuesday, as a matter of fact. All right. Welcome to Mindful Reality TV from a mental health perspective. So I remember when the whole Kamsi thing came about in the first place. And I remember they haven't showed much of it. We've seen more of it outside, honestly, than what we saw of any time inside because production cut off those feeds. So there was a lot that was missed in the beginning, but through people who have been really dedicated to capturing and sharing as much information as there is, I got a lot of secondhand information about, the conversations that they were having, and then they made their agreement. Hi, Tasha. They made their agreement, I suppose, to not pursue anything until they leave the house. So apparently that was an agreement that they made at one point. Now, I remember when this whole cuddling with MJ thing originally entered into the equation, because that was not happening right in the beginning, as far as I remember. It was a little bit later down the line. And at the beginning of that, I thought to myself, that is pretty platonic because it didn't look like anything. It was kind of strange to me, like that kind of thing wouldn't be strange to me if they were together, but it was just strange to me because as far as I knew, they didn't have that type of relationship. So I didn't really know why she was doing that, and especially that much. But I also did not really think anything of it at that time. But then as time went along, and then it was an everyday thing. And then I still remember that one night on the feeds where Chelsea actually was cuddling with Cam on that one night on the feeds. So now she's saying, I'm not that type of girl, but she was actually doing that. And we were watching, or I was watching. I wanted to say we because I felt like I was watching with y'all, but I was actually just, it was on my TV while I was on a live and I was looking at it. So I was like, oh, they're kind of stepping it up. And then I think she got called to the diary room or something. And then there he was again on MJ's lap, or she was on his lap, or whatever it was. But basically, he just resumed with MJ as soon as Chelsea got up. So I don't even think it's so much of I'm not that kind of girl. I think it's that she's basically saying, I'm not going to compete for your affection. And now we're getting like two people on two sides of the fence on what people think about Chelsea. Some people are like she's jealous or she's possessive, and other side is just like that's a normal thing. He's giving her mixed signals. I have a few different things. I'm trying to organize my thoughts here, so bear with me. There's one thing. So I was reading a transcript of conversations that Chelsea was having in the past 24 hours with T-Core, with Leah, with MJ, and with Cam. Somebody took the time to write these all down. Yeah, that's one thing. That was one thing I was going to say. She's definitely not trying to compete. I don't think when she says I'm not that girl, I think she's trying to protect herself because we did see her start to open up more. We did see her start to get more affectionate with him at a point. I know that people don't remember that because we see them so many hours in a day. So something little, like the thing that I'm talking about, might not have been little for her. So then she's like, okay, we're progressing because that whole thing with her cuddling with him happened shortly after their conversation about having feelings for each other. Then there he is with MJ again. So now she's like, what if I open up and what if I let this guy in and find out that I didn't really mean the same thing to him as what he means to me? Now, my issue is the same thing that I've been saying from the beginning. If you want it to be something and you have a standard, you just have to let that standard be known and let the chips fall where they may. So there was this particular thing where Cam and Chelsea were having a conversation. I woke up like about, I want to say midnight to 1 o'clock. I was really tired yesterday, so I fell asleep. I woke up. First thing that was on the feeds was them. And as I was looking at them on the feeds, she was talking to him. She's trying to explain to him about how it's looking with him cuddling with MJ every day and the flirting that was happening with Leah and how it's bad for the game and it's bad for the game and it's bad for the game. This thing is so mixy and complicated at this point, but I feel like for her own sanity, it would be a lot better and a lot easier to say, I don't like it because I like you. I know that she's thinking about the game and I know that she's thinking about protecting her feelings, but I can say from experience in my life that it's much harder to be around somebody that you really like and feel unsure about how they feel about you versus just telling them and getting the answer. Yes, I mean, I don't know if Cam would actually tell her um, what he feels 100%, or maybe he doesn't know what he feels 100%. That was the second part that I wanted to get into. I'm no longer convinced that Cam is not into MJ because the reason that he's given for all the cuddles is like, I don't have anybody to cuddle with. So he's basically making it like I would rather be cuddling with Chelsea, but she's not offering me that. And the funnier part is that it seems like she would have offered that if she felt more assured that she was the one that he wanted. Because that's what Chelsea has been saying in the last couple of days. I mean, I think she probably said it before that, but getting a chance to hear a lot of her speaking during this Janky World thing, I've heard her say to multiple people, like, I think that he might be into MJ. Two things that she thinks that he could be into MJ, which I think too, and she thinks that it could be just game. I don't think it's just game. I just think that he wasn't at a point of committing to her, and I think he doesn't know what he wants. That's the importance of having these conversations because it's not going to be easy for her regardless. Because imagine having those conversations, like I was saying yesterday on my feed, on my live that cut off, and then you're still in an enclosed space with that person and watching them with this other person. Good morning, Ma. So it's a tough situation, but I think that she really needs to get it out with him because they're having conversations, yes, but in those conversations, she's just talking about game. She's not talking about how she personally feels. How she personally feels is coming out in her actions. But verbally, when she's talking to him, she's not being direct in that. I know what he wants. He wants to shout out his dogs at the crib. Morning, Ma. We enslaved the system. Anyways, so now it creates this awkward tension within the house. Everybody knows what it's like being around. Cam and Chelsea is weird. Like they're like an old married couple, but everyone knows what it's like being around people who like each other, but there's a tension there. Yeah. So now here we are. We are what? I don't know how many days. We're 2 months in. Okay. Yeah. So that whole blow up that she had, what, the other day with Cam about the cots and the positioning of the cots, it's just frustration setting in because she likes the guy and feels like he doesn't like her, and that could be the case, or it just could be the case of he's not looking for a commitment, or he's not ready for a commitment, or a commitment looks differently to him than what it looks like for her. I could see it being something where outside of the house, I don't know, Ma, but you're. Wait a minute. Yeah, I was making sure. Morning, Lisa. Yeah, so that was just a build up, an accumulation of. I think that it's somewhat an easy thing that is being made complicated, and the house and the game makes it worse. The house and the game is magnifying everything about this situation. But those are some warning thoughts about the current state of Camzy. I wish that they would have a real conversation where they would both just state what it is, but more on the Chelsea side than the Cam side. And the reason that I'm saying more on the Chelsea side is because Cam is doing what he wants to do. And I feel like just like what Chelsea said to him, the actions are speaking louder than the words. She said to Leah that Cam is like two different people. Like the person that he is when she talks to him privately, and then the person that he is when he's with the group, and particularly around MJ. But yeah, it's solvable if you're just like, I'm into you, I like you, I want to pursue something with you. These are the boundaries that I have for somebody who I am looking to get romantically involved with, and then he can do what he does. After that, you can be mad all you want, but at least you know if he's just like, nah, that doesn't work for me, then you move on. And then he moves on and he can do what he wants. Camzy might not be a thing once they walk out those doors. That's the honest truth of the whole matter. They might not be a thing. Maybe they're not compatible. Who knows? I get the impression, or I mean, it's just an educated guess. It's not even an educated guess. Let's just call it a guess. I get the feeling that Cam is used to being in relationships where the physical intimacy is available to him first before he commits to anything. That's just the impression that I get. And he probably doesn't usually have to work for it. He probably doesn't usually have to ask for it. Nothing like that. Um, Definitely a simple thing that Chelsea has blown up in her mind. Just talk about it already, or hold it until the game is done. They won't be, trust me. I'm no longer willing to say those things just because I get annoyed with what people take from my channel and clip things and use them. It's annoying. My comment section thanks me for that. People get mad when you predict what's going to happen. I don't know why. I don't have a horse in the race of whether it's going to succeed or whether it's going to fail. What I should say is I hope for the best, but what difference does it make to me whether that relationship succeeds or fails? I just hope that they end up in the best outcome where they don't hate each other. I'll only clip you if you have a dusty moment. Not you, but the BB community. D. Okay. We got the trolls out today. Bye. Happy first and last comment to Bay510 Bay. You got one more comment than the other guy. What was his name? I don't remember. I do not care if they have a showman's. I can't believe though that I've been sitting here for so many days of Big Brother season speaking about cuddling. The most action going on in the house is Cam getting his hair stroked. So there's nothing else to really talk about. I mean, there's game to talk about, yes. T-Core was the replacement Nam. Strangely, people are saying that Rabina is going to be going home. If that's the case, that's crazy for the house to even consider keeping the best social player in the game. Please just Google it, Ma. Cam is the only straight guy left. Good morning, Mark, Lisa, Ma. Cam's friends have told him. Yeah, he said I saw that when he was talking to Chelsea, and he said he's heard that before. But I think this is different than that. I do because at the beginning I could see it being an overly friendly thing. Now I see that he looks really comfortable with MJ, and it even looks like MJ seems to be more of his speed. That's what it looks like. I can't say that I feel confident that it's just a physical touch thing anymore. And I think that MJ likes him. On that side of things, I literally just think that MJ has an interest in the man. Simple and plain. That's what I think. All right, so I got about 5 more minutes. 5 minute warning, y'all. Let me drop in a poll before I go. Who goes home Thursday night fiction? Hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. We have 7 likes and 12 people in here. The math ain't mathing. How do you feel about Rubina and Tikor saying that a good person should win? This season is pretty lame. The house guests pretty well get along, and Tikor is the one who secretly flipped a vote. The only person that it seems like Tikor doesn't like is Angela. Tikor and Rubina. It seems like they pretty much like everyone in there except for Angela. So unless there's somebody else that they don't like that's there that I don't know about. I don't know what you want from me. I'm personally over it. Every person there. Yeah, I don't just generally. Yeah, he's showing that. He's showing that, Sheena. He's definitely showing that. Like, I get the impression that if Chelsea walked out of that house and did not win 750K, but left with a man that she was in a long-term relationship with, like if it was a like a Bailey Swaggy C type of thing, she would be just fine with that. Him, I think he's taking the bag. I think he's taking the money. Yeah, I hate that in on every show, on every one of these competition shows, when people act like you have to have a specific noble cause for the money, when people act like you have to play the game with integrity and morals. It's like, come on now. I mean, yeah, there's a storyline of how people are perceived when they come out of the house. But somebody like Jag, I think, proves that you can be a villain on the show to an extent, and you can still come out of the show and then meet with people, interact with people. Because I remember when Jag first came out, he was getting cooked in these interviews, in these Twitter spaces. Like people were just talking to Jag and calling him a bully, and they were saying different things about what he was saying when in the final five, and just how he was acting in the house. And if you were to see him today, like when I saw him at the event, he was the life of the party. Like people kind of have forgotten about that. It's just about how you're comfortable with winning and how you're comfortable with being viewed. I mean, it's on them. I don't hold them to any particular standard. I just watch the show and I decide who I like and who I don't like. That's it. And I don't believe in, I play a truthful game and an honest game, especially in Big Brother. Nobody does that in Big Brother. Nobody has a clean win in that sense. Nobody has like a high moral win. Roblox Monopoly. Okay, so let's check the poll. It needs to go back to just being just about the game, and if anyone of the current house guest needed the money, it was Quinn, and he didn't even make jury. Okay, so y'all think, well, four out of no, 5 out of 6 of you think T-Core. Oh, there was a last second vote. If you care about morals, don't play the show. All right, everybody. We will. There's a traitor amongst us. I think T-Core should go home. Like I think it would be really dumb of them to get this prime shot at T-Core and then take out Rubina instead. I really think that leaving in T-Core when you have the shot wouldn't be smart. But that's what they're saying lately. That's the latest thing that I've heard. What is today? Tuesday? So hopefully we'll have some game talks today so that we can get some more clarity. And thank y'all for joining me this morning. Work starts. Wait, but first, I gotta start working. So please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified when I drop some more great content. Thank y'all and have a good day.